Okay, so we're going to look at another real world problem. In this example, we are car shopping. And so I want you to see if you can solve this on your own. I know this is going to be a challenge, but these are the type of problems that we look at in the real world. So this is why math is very important for us for concepts like this. Dante is buying a car that cost $8,000. He is deciding between a 3-year loan and a 4-year loan. We want to use the rates in the table to determine how much money he is going to save if he chooses the 3-year loan instead of the 4-year loan. So, pause the video, see if you can figure the answer out. If you get stuck or you find the answer, go on and replay it so that you can see how we solve it. All right, so we are going to compare the two different loans to see which one is going to be a better deal for him. So we know that when we're talking about simple interest, our formula is going to be interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. Okay. Or I is equal to principal, rate, time. That's how it would typically look. But what we're doing is just multiplying those three factors. All right. So now we have the I, our P, our R, and our T. Okay. Let's see if we have any of that information to fill in from the story. The car cost $8,000. And because we are looking at multiple scenarios, why don't we number these? So this will be in regards to our 3-year loan. So we're going to see what happens with the 3-year, and then we'll do the same thing for the 4. All right. So the interest for the 3-year, we don't know. That's what we need to solve for. So I'm going to call that I. And then the principal is going to be how much does he need to borrow, which is the $8,000. So he's borrowing $8,000. And then what is the rate? So if we get the 3-year term, our rate is going to be 2.25%. So it's important to write this down, 2.25 and your percent sign. Okay. Remember, if we want to convert this into its decimal equivalent, you're going to move that decimal 2 places to the left. So that would be 0.025. Okay. I want to point out something here. Notice that this says 2.25. And then what I have is 0.025. So I want you to understand that when they give us a number, if they put the percent here, your percent sign has to go after that number. And then you have to move it 2 places to the left from where it currently is. So that's what we did. We wrote the number we had there for the 3 years, put the percent sign back there, and then we just adjusted it from there. So to adjust it, all you do is go where the decimal currently is, move it 2 places to the left, and then you come out with what I have here. All right. Now, what about the time? We know that the time is going to be 3 years. And remember, when we talk about time, we're talking about cycles, right? How many cycles is he going to need to pay interest? So, our interest rate we know is going to be per year, unless they tell us otherwise. So, we know that it's going to be per year, and he needs it for 3 years. So, he needs it for 3 of those cycles. All right. So now what we're going to do is go and plug in what we know. So our interest is going to be equal to the principal, which is 8,000, times the rate, which is 0.025, times the time, which is 3. So we take those 3, multiply them together. The interest is going to come out to be, let's see, 8,000 times 0.025. Oops, too many zeros. There we go. That looks still better. All right. And then we're going to multiply that by 3 and we come out with $600. Okay. So we have I is going to be equal to $600. So this is his interest. Okay. Um, so his interest on this car is going to be $600. All right. So now let's go see what happens with the second loan and see which one is going to be a better deal for him. So it's the same thing. Our formula is going to be the same. We're talking about the interest being equal to the principal times the rate times the time. We're going to put all of our factors down here. So interest, principal, rate, and time. All right. So we don't know the interest. That's why the problem exists. Do we know the principal? The principal is going to be that 8,000 still. What about the rate? The rate changes because we're going to get it for a longer term. And so now it's going to be 2.5. Remember, put 2.5 and then your percent sign. And then we can convert that into its decimal equivalent, which is going to be moving that decimal 2 places to the left. So 0.025. Okay. And you know what? I just realized in my previous example, I gave you the wrong information because I did not put the correct number. This should have been actually 0.0225. That should have been, let me see, 1, 2. Yes, that should have been 0.0225. Uh-oh. So that threw our calculation off. Let me backtrack real quick, and I apologize about that. So the interest is equal to, remember, you're just multiplying these factors. 8,000 times 0.0225 times 3. And what do we get? So 8,000 times 0.0225 times 3. All right, see how that made a difference, because now his interest, we had 600 initially, it's now 540. So this is why it's so important for us to understand what we're doing, and then being able to catch a mistake if you make it. That really helps so that you don't have to worry about paying extra interest. In this case, you would have paid $60 more. All right. So now we have this rate down here, the 2.5. And what was our term for that 4-year loan? Let's see. Well, actually, I don't know why I even said that. The term is 4 years. All right. So remember, we're talking about a cycle. So the interest is generated on a yearly basis. So every full cycle is 1 year. Okay. And we need it for 4 of those cycles. So the time is going to be 4. All right. So then we just go and plug in what we know. So our principal times the rate times the time. In that case, interest is equal to 8,000 times 0.025 times 4. So let's see what we've got. So 8,000 times 0.025 times 4. All right, so you're going to pay in interest $800. All right, so which one is going to be a better deal for him? If we look at it, you obviously want to pay less interest. So in this scenario, the 3-year loan, he'll pay $540 extra in interest. Whereas in the 4-year plan, he would owe $800 in interest. So then obviously our one that's going to be a better deal is going to be the 3-year.